Good evening guys, this is Praneet Chakravorty from PRATHAM. Today we'll be discussing about the major domains of the hotel industry. So there are usually a lot of cliches that the Indian parents have and the entire society when it comes to their ITC operations or giving their NCHMCT exam and so on, where they actually think that if it's about hotel industry then you are probably only cooking, which is actually a wrong notion, and hence why we thought of explaining you and giving you in detail about all the major domains of the hotel industry. So initially we'll start with the major department, that is the production department or the food production department, whichever way you want to call it, right? So in this, under the kitchen department, there are usually you classified into two, that is your hot kitchen and cold kitchens. So when I talk about hot kitchen, you'll have your restaurant kitchen, you have your pastry chefs, you have your restaurant kitchens, banquet kitchens and so on. And then comes the cold kitchen, where you have your bakery, garde, confectionery for your bakery stuff and all, and your garde manger for your salads and everything. Right? So once you apply for your kitchen, you'll have to choose your field whether you want to opt for the hot kitchen or you want to opt for the cold kitchen and so on. Now, moving to the other segment, that is the most important one, that is your food and beverage service. So now when I come down to the food and beverage service department, it is further classified into your IRD. I'll repeat that, it's IRD, that is your in-room dining. So the moment you check in at a hotel and you place orders, once you have checked in and you have resided your stay, and that's when you, or whatever orders that you place to the kitchen, that orders are usually taken and executed by the in-room dining department of the hotel. Now, our second is the restaurant, so the famous restaurant. So let's just say if it is ITC, their famous restaurants are Pan Asia and Dampuk and so on. So those all restaurants would be also coming under your food and beverage service department. Now, our third would be the banquets. So when I come down to banquets, it might be your conferences, it might be any sort of workshops, it might be your wedding, receptions or anything. Everything. All the events and everything usually come under the banquets, right? Our next part would be your cafes. So any sort of coffee shops where they serve you all the beverages and all, that usually comes under the cafes, which are usually not 24 hours open, but it depends from property to property. Various properties, they tend to keep it open for 24 hours. Some keep it closed during the night visiting hours and so on. And the last would be your pubs, bars, discotheques and all. So where you have they serve your mocktails, cocktails, your famous flair bartending and everything takes place here. Now, our third section would be, that is your accommodation and operation, which is further bifurcated into your housekeeping, where they take care of, number one would be your rooms. So any sort of, I'm pretty sure you guys are aware about the rooms cleaning and everything that is taken care by the housekeeping department. So all your guest supplies, your napkins and your laundry, linen, everything. And our second would be the maintenance. So any sort of maintenance, it might be your guest room services, it might be anything related to your, probably let's just say any gadgets which are there in the room and so on, or your AC or anything like that, that is usually taken care by the maintenance department. Last but not the least would be the front office department. Now let me tell you something guys, front office is actually a department which is the first point of contact for any guest in any property. So any sort of problems that you have with the food or the rooms or anything, that is usually taken care by the front office, all the guest dealing, client dealing and so on. So our first would be reservations. So if it's by chance, if it's a smaller property, usually they merge reservations with the front office, but ideally it is supposed to be a different department per se, because all the reservations that they receive probably via the online portal and the offline and all, that is taken care by the reservations department, which is further forwarded to the front office and then they take care from there onwards, right? Now, our third would be the front desk. So as I said, front desk is the first point of contact for any sort of guest who walks in at the hotel. It might be a short-term guest, a guest who's probably will be staying there for 2 to 3 months and so on, whatever the timeline or duration it might be. any sort of bill payments, settlements, and your POs and everything which is written, that takes place at the front desk, which is further categorized into your bell desk and concierge. So when I talk about bell desk usually helps for any sort of luggage assistance and so on. And then comes your concierge. So a lot of people don't know about this. So concierge is basically a department that takes care of your travel and tourism. So for example, if you have to take a city tour, for example, if you have to go for musical festivals or any cultural fest or anything like that, or any sort of travel requirements, maybe your flight bookings, if you're a corporate client, then your business bookings for next one place to another, everything is taken care by the concierge department. Now, we have covered all the 4 major domains of the hotel industry, and I hope so you guys were able to figure out and understand their major operations and everything. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please feel free to post any sort of doubts or anything in the comment section. We'll be more than happy to answer it in our next video. Thank you so much.